How do you get to the bottom of that? And is there a chance that prosecutors could agree that she's not guilty by reason of insanity?
Vinny, on the case that I was just talking to you about, we agreed it was a not guilty by reason of insanity, but there were reasons why. There was a previous mental health history. Is there one here? There was a previous diagnosis of a known psychiatric illness, which is required under the law before you can avail yourself of this defense. And in my case, there was. And the person did not get their medication that they were supposed to have. They decompensated, and they clearly didn't understand the difference between right or wrong. But I see this case a lot differently here. I see her making admissions. Now, she can be delusional. She can have a mental illness, but that does not a get out of free jail card. You have to show she didn't know the difference between right or wrong. I find her conduct to be manipulative. I hope that they asked more questions to get to that part, whether she knew it was right or wrong. But I do note that she indicates here and makes a very telling statement that's going to go up on a big poster board with the prosecutors. People will tell me that I'm crazy. What she's saying by that is she recognizes that the actions that she did, the thing that she did, would be perceived by others to be crazy, which is an exact opposite of what the insanity defense is, because you can't appreciate the difference between right or wrong, but yet she recognizes it. So she could have all the delusions in the world, all the religious crazy in her head. That's not a get out of jail free card. She makes a number of admissions here. And by the way, the whole husband thing, call me curious. They wrote that off as an accident, not undetermined, yet to be seen. I find it very suspicious, but Vinny, I'm getting old, so maybe I'm getting a little too suspect of people. Yeah. Nevertheless, it's not a good look for her.
Rick, he's got his closing argument ready, Bob does already, just from that statement that people are going to call me crazy.
Vinny, been there on actually something almost exactly like this. And this is one of the reasons why I personally, when I ran the prosecutor's office, had our lawyers immediately contacted so they could either get to the scene as quickly as possible or be on the phone with the police. And this is a perfect example of why. Immediately, any lawyer listening to this is thinking about a courtroom, thinking about summation, thinking about the jury charges, and they're looking at diminished capacity or potential insanity, and they want to make sure the cops ask the right questions as soon as possible, like my colleague indicates, before the person invokes, and you don't get that information. So while it's chaotic, they've got to ask questions, goal-oriented behavior. What happened? How did it happen? When did it happen? Because all this goes to the mental state of the individual who's already confessed to having committed a crime.